one of the feedback that I received from my boss was, I'm a very poor communicator. So I don't know if it is because he couldn't understand my accent, or if it is that, he was just putting me down because he didn't like me speaking, my whole style of speaking. So this is a constant feedback that I was receiving from him saying, my communication is not good. And I kept telling him, unless it is specific, you need to tell me what part of my communication is not good. Unless it is specific, I can't take it as a feedback. And, he kept coming back and saying my communication is not good. And that's at some point I stopped it and said, I'm not taking it. So that's the only time I don't take feedback where I know he was trying to put me down. Because if you're not putting me down, feedback should always come up with a follow-up where you actually tell the person how to correct it, right?
Right. Well, I must say that the point you just made is so interesting, because often we know that minorities specifically get very non-specific feedback, right? So if it's positive, you get told, just keep doing what you're doing and things will happen for you, which is like, what does that mean? Or you get told things like fix your communication skills or executive presence, which I honestly hate. And it's so non-specific that you can't possibly do anything about it because you don't know what's broken. Is it your accent? Is it your style of communication? Is it oral? Is it verbal? Is it, written? What is it? Is it about presenting to a group of people? Is it presenting at an executive forum? What is the specific issue, right? Is never communicated. And so it's so interesting that you say that, because it's the experience of so many that unless you get specific feedback, how could you possibly do anything about it and grow?
Yeah, and in my whole pursuit of fitting in, I have taken a lot of these absurd feedback and, beaten myself up. And that's something that I stopped about 5-6 years back. And I said, unless it is something that is said with an intent and help for me to improve, I am not taking it. When I come into a workplace as a minority, and you are actually telling me, your communication is bad, unless you're specific, or, I've got the feedback saying, you need to tone down your energy. And I'm like, what specifically does that mean? This is who I am. I can't.
What could that possibly mean?
Yes. And, if you actually say that I should talk less, so probably some of the meetings I might be actually talking more. If your feedback is specific and you tell me that, oh, you have so much of energy and you're talking more, this is specific. But if you just tell me tone down your energy, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
Same as communication, simply because we think you don't have executive presence, none of which is tangible.
Yeah. And I think it's neither constructive nor developmental, because let's say that you are talking too much in a meeting. I think the way of giving constructive feedback would be to say, what did you think of the meeting, right? Were you able to hear the points of view of everyone else in the meeting? And then you might say, oh, maybe I talked too much in the meeting. So it's about your leader being able to bring about that self-reflection for you, to be able to say, oh, the way that I might be able to help in a meeting, if I have psychological safety, is to help others voice their opinions and maybe hang back a little bit and then express mine. And so that's a better way to give feedback than to say, tone down your energy, because who knows what that even means.